Welcome everyone to the Moisky News for February 18th, 2020. Today I want to talk about the hustings that took place over the weekend for Labour and their leadership campaign. The current three members are Rebecca Long-Bailey, Lisa Nandy and Sir Keir Starmer. Now I should say from the offset, this was quite fascinating, and I would argue the one that came out on top was Sir Keir Starmer. It would have been Lisa Nandy, but there was one thing she said that I think set her back, and that was that she would vote to abolish, in a referendum, the monarchy. Now that is a popular position with a lot of younger people, but a number of recent polls would be counter to that and indicate the majority actually are quite alright with them. Personally, I don't consider it even a small issue. I really do not believe it is worth addressing because it is of no consequence in the larger scale or picture. Some argue, yes, but we should be more like a republic. Well, if we're going to do that, a ginormous, almost unfathomable shift in politics would have to happen in this country to abolish the House of Lords as well, create a Congress, Senate, and more than likely a president for it to work, along with a Prime Minister, which would be a lot of aggro. But I'm sure if it's wanted enough, then it will happen, but I believe it to be unlikely in the foreseeable future. So coming out on top, I believe Sir Keir Starmer won it. He is still a resounding favourite to win. He has the majority of unions backing him. I think Lisa Nandy pips him on members at the moment, but not by much, with Rebecca Long-Bailey pulling in a very minimal number of members. Rebecca Long-Bailey, because I want to focus on her now, has said that she cannot refuse a Scottish referendum request, and she is at present the only candidate who would grant legal powers to hold a fresh referendum, which I think is quite brave, especially when you add to that Rebecca Long-Bailey herself conceded the only way Labour are going to regain power in the United Kingdom is by winning back Scotland. That to me is very interesting. That's a damning statement as well. There I was thinking winning back your heartlands. You know, the ones you lost. It's also interesting for Rebecca Long-Bailey because she's refused to name her favourite Labour leader over the last 50 years. It was in fact a question. She replied by denouncing the idea that Corbynism was a thing, but she had in the past also said that Corbyn did a 10 out of 10 job as leader, you know, as he led them to their worst defeat in quite a while. Oof. And on the subject of Jeremy Corbyn with Rebecca Long-Bailey, during those same hustings, she said that she would actually put Jeremy Corbyn in her cabinet, with there being actually quite a lot of people who believe he would benefit, and the party would if he was made Shadow Foreign Secretary. Which actually, that's not a bad idea really, because it appeals to his actual strength. It's the one thing that actually became his weakness in PMQs, his humanity, because he genuinely wants to help everyone and just believes help everyone. He really believes this, and I cannot fault him for that, in the context of if he became Foreign Secretary or Shadow Foreign Secretary. But when it came to grassroots and politics, he kind of struggled in the United Kingdom because he seemed to give out the impression he cared more about everyone else and not enough about those within his own country. One other person that said they would actually be okay and really wanted Jeremy Corbyn to remain in an office of sorts is someone running for deputy leader, Richard Burgon. Burgon, B-U-R-G-O-N. Go nuts. Because they believe he has a valuable role to play, and I tend to agree, but I don't believe Rebecca Long-Bailey will win, although I kind of want to for the lols, but I don't believe they will because of Keir Starmer. When Rebecca Long-Bailey denounced Corbynism and said it wasn't a thing, she did so because she has been labelled repeatedly a continuity Corbyn, which is a bit unfair. I mean, we know bugger all really about her beyond the policies she's trying to put forward, which all seem remarkably Corbyn. I mean, she is backed by Momentum, which, yeah. They back Corbyn a little, yeah. And on the subject of policy, it should be noted that Rebecca Long-Bailey still believes that the manifesto Labour presented at the last general election is still a valid one now, and would support the extra £82.9 billion being spent extra a year by 2024. If we account for inflation, I'm sure it's not as high as everyone thinks and therefore not as impressive. But that's still a lot of money to just say you'll spend on the policies you think will work that were all summarily rejected at the last general election. Although I would argue leaving the EU played a very big part. And what was your position again, Rebecca? Because I can't remember it. She also added that if she wins, Labour will not campaign to rejoin the EU at the next general election, with her believing that it would be disastrous to go into the general election to advocate a position of rejoining, which I agree with. We have to make a go. You've got to beat him on domestic policy. You have to beat Boris on domestic policy. That's what you've got to do. And at the moment, Boris might start attacking the rich, which might hurt him in the long run, especially when it comes to that, was it 40% break in tax or something on pensions for high earners? Yeah, that's going to annoy some people. As with all subjects I cover on this channel, please do let me know what you think about this in the comments below. I also want to know who you think will win, because the hustings are proving to be quite interesting. Very telling. Lisa Nandy and Keir Starmer are the two top in this. Rebecca Long-Bailey standing out, and of course the recent monarchy-related comment from Nandy has done her no favours, really. So please do let me know in the comments down below.